Welcome to This Wasn't the Plan podcast. I'm Callie.
And I'm Brittany.
And we're two best friends who met during breast cancer treatment in our 30s. This rocked our world, but we managed to get through it together. We've laughed, cried, and learned a lot along the way.
This is our real, raw, and honest journey, and we're here to help you feel less alone in yours. Thanks for listening. Now let's get on with the show. Hello.
Hey, Lee.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be launching surprise episode number 2. We decided to hit y'all with episodes 2 and 3 right away. We were going to release one at a time, but we love binging podcasts, and we wanted you to be able to get a pretty good feel for who we are and why we're doing this. So yeah, surprise.
Yeah. Well, Britt, tell everybody what today's episode is about.
Yeah, so today's episode is my story. I think along the lines of Callie's. I don't know if you ever get to a point where you can talk about your, some of the hardest days of your life without emotion. So I don't think either of us need to explain that. Many of you probably understand that. But yeah, bring the Kleenex box. And I too am not done. I've got some decisions to make moving forward. And, I think that's part of why we decided to start now, is because we don't want people to feel like they have to wait until they get a certain scan or hear something from a doctor to start living their life and using their story to, help other people. So hopefully today's episode and Callie's episode will be helpful context as we move forward. And, we'll mention different things about our story, and you can always refer back to that when you want to know more. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back to This Wasn't the Plan podcast. I'm Callie.
And I'm Brittany.
Today, Brittany is going to share her cancer story with us. I've been with her throughout it, but there's still a part of it that I don't know, so I'm excited to hear that, and I think it'll really help a lot of people.
Okay. Let's rip off this Band-Aid.
So where were you in your life when you discovered or when you found your breast cancer?
Yeah. Okay. So it was very interesting timing, kind of like looking back on your story, and there's a very intentional reason why we chose the name This Wasn't the Plan. And I think for both of us, that rings true in our stories. So for me, we, it was 2023, December 2023 when I was diagnosed. I'm going to back up just a little bit. My husband and I got married in 2018. We both had the idea that we didn't want to have kids right away. We were 25, 26, and wanted to just enjoy the first few years of marriage. We said, maybe 3 to 5 years, and that was that. And we lived our lives. And then, COVID happened, and that changed everybody's lives. And there was a lot we were processing through life, and it became, all of a sudden, our 5-year anniversary came up. I had started probably in 2020. People around me were having kids, and I've always been very interested in health and wellness. And so while I knew that maybe we weren't in a place to start having kids, my wheels started turning. And so my way of dealing with that, because one part of my story is just struggling with control and needing to control timelines and control outcomes. And so I started listening to a lot of podcasts and reading books. I'm like Lily Nichols and Kelly LeVeque. And there's this doctor in California, Dr. Cleopatra Campervine. She does this whole thing called the primester, and now that's not pretty common knowledge, but I hear more women talking about prepping prior to conception and getting yourself in the best shape possible and getting your nutrient stores and all of that kind of stuff. And I really geeked out on that, thinking I'm not maybe on the timeline that I want to be on. I would have loved in 2021 to start trying for kids. It becomes 2022. I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable with this. So I started really grasping on and was like, if I just eat my eggs and get my choline and do all of these things. By the time we're in a place that we feel good and we're ready to go, my body's gonna be ready. 2023 comes around. We are having more conversations, and I'm like, I really want to go on a trip before we get pregnant. So we went on, and I'm really thankful we did. We went on a trip to Greece, your homeland.
Yes,
one of your homelands, not France, but
right.
And that was really beautiful. That was October of 2023. And the plan was kind of like, let's just start trying when we get home. Delayed a couple months because of just wanting, again, I was like very perfectionistic and like, I'm like, Brennan, your diet is not perfect.
Yeah.
So we must wait, and then your sperm will be perfect.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was a lot of that. And so December 2023 arrives. No, it was like November. Sorry, backing up. We get home from our trip. In my phone, I have a note. I do not remember this. Apparently, I found a lump October 31st.
Oh.
It was so benign to me that I don't remember it, but apparently at some point I remembered to write that down. So
what did you think? Like, did you think I need to go get it checked out, or you just said I found a lump and that was that?
I think I like once I was diagnosed, I must have gone back at some point and like looked through my phone or looked at a picture or been like, when did I find that?
Okay.
At this point, I truly have no recollection of that moment, but I remember I found it first, did not think a thing of it. When I found it, I was like very attuned to my hormones. There were some warning signs that I had some hormonal issues.
Okay. Starting
with like in 2021, I came off of birth control, and I started having a lot of signs of estrogen progesterone imbalance. Yes, sort of estrogen dominance, but we can get into that later. Like, I don't know what was going on, but I know that I was spotting a long time before my period, like a week before my period, and that's very abnormal. My breasts were incredibly tender. So all these things after I came off of birth control, which I had been on for like 10 years. So I was thinking maybe like it's a hormonal shift, it's a hormonal imbalance of some kind, whatever. And then a couple weeks go by. I'd kind of decided I was going to wait 4 weeks and give it one full cycle and see if it changed. A couple weeks go by, and Brennan felt it, and he was like, what is that? That's weird. And it kind of, for the first time to me, was like, oh, that actually is a little weird.
Yeah.
Like hearing it out loud. And so I told him, okay, I'm just going to give it like 2 more weeks, whatever. And I remember it was Thanksgiving weekend, and and it had just not been on my mind. I was thinking, 1 month from now, I'm going to be ovulating and we're going to start trying. Like, I had my clock ready.
Like, I don't have time for this lump, so I'm going to ignore it.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
So,
it's not part of the plan.
It's not. And we have a fun Thanksgiving with family. And then Sunday happened, and we had some conversation. I remember saying to him, basically, we were talking about like pushing off trying longer. He was. And I was like, nope, I'm done waiting. I remember saying those words. I was like, we're moving forward. We've been talking about this for a long time. Like, we're never going to be perfect. And I thought that was my lesson in perfectionism. I thought that was my lesson in control, was it wasn't going to look exactly. So I was like, we're just moving forward. And then that day it hit me that it had been 4 weeks. I was like, oh, it isn't gone. And so I was like, I do need to follow up and get that checked. So I called the midwife's office that I had been going to. I'd like established care with a midwife, and called them, and they handled everything really well. They were like, you know what? If you've been watching it for a little while, we should probably get you in. So I saw a midwife that I didn't normally meet with the next morning. They wanted me in right away. She felt it. And a couple of things, like at that point, there started to be some pain associated with it, and it was movable. And both of those things are things I hear women say that indicate it's not cancerous.
Right.
And then she felt it, and she was like, yeah, I don't think it's anything, but let's just get you an ultrasound just to make sure. They're probably going to make you do a mammogram because for like insurance purposes, a lot of times they do. That was on a Tuesday. Yeah. I called on a Monday, saw her on a Tuesday. She got me an appointment on a Thursday. So Thursday comes around. I finally tell my mom, and I was like, I'm doing this thing. It's no big deal. And she was like, yeah, I had a similar thing happen at one point. It was so scary. Let me know if you need to talk.
Did you really think it was no big deal, or were you just trying to present that to your parents that way?
No, I legitimately thought it was no big deal.
Okay.
I mean...
Did breast cancer ever...
No.
Like, okay.
No. I mean, I'm 31 at the time. I had just turned 31.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah. And I mean, maybe there was like a small part of me that's just like the optimist and like, no, I've had my hard season, and that was waiting to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Everything else is going to start being perfect.
Yeah.
So I go to the ultrasound mammogram Thursday and get the mammogram done, which they're not that bad. Like if you don't want to get one done because of the pain, that's what you're scared of. Like there's other things we could talk about, but just like, I think hearing someone be like, it's not that bad, don't be freaked out by it, would have been really nice. And I had a giant tumor in my breast that was painful. So, got that done. And then I went and they do that, and then the ultrasound. And I was laying on the ultrasound table with my arm above my head, and there's this tech who was really nice, probably 23 years old. And it hit me for the first time like a ton of bricks. As I hear her like taking little screenshots and blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm like, oh, this girl could know some life-changing information that she can't share with me. She can't say anything. And she was just very professional doing her stuff. And like, yeah, I just started crying on the table because I was like, oh, whoa, this actually could be something for the first time ever. And, yeah, that was a very weird moment. And then 10 minutes go by and the radiologist comes in and, she very kindly said, this is really not looking good. It's very suspicious. I think they usually use that word when they can't say it's cancer. They need a biopsy to confirm it. But, yeah, it was very suspicious. And she said, we see a lot of calcifications. Calcifications isn't necessarily a scary word. After learning more, that's something that can or cannot be cancerous. But I think they usually can tell the ones that aren't concerning on a mammogram. Anyways, they sent me on she says it's suspicious. And my first words out of my mouth were, I'm supposed to get pregnant in 2 weeks.
Because even if you did start trying, you would absolutely get pregnant the first time.
Because life was going to start going perfectly, Callie.
Obviously, that was your plan, and it was going to go according to plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this going to be a problem with my timeline? Oh, God.
It's okay.
A year and a half later, I have compassion for that person because, like, she was just trying so desperately to, like, have things start going right. And so anyways, it's just funny to me looking back that like a very good chance I had breast cancer, whether it was denial or whatever, was not the concern.
Yeah.
So I go home, I'm just like sobbing, and I tell Brennan. And then I get a call within like minutes, and they're like, hey, we had an opening, someone canceled, and we'd like for you to come back right now to do your biopsy. And they were like, otherwise it'll be like a couple weeks. And a friend of mine who's in the medical field, I was telling her this recently, and she's like, they didn't have an opening. They stayed late. Like they were supposed to close the office. Like, I think they were genuinely very concerned. And so they brought me back in. Brennan went with me. Like you said, I mean, I was freaked out, but luckily I had no time I didn't know what a biopsy was. I remember looking down as we were in the waiting room and Brennan's Googling, what's a biopsy? What's a lumpectomy? Because we didn't know what I was getting done.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this thing?
Good thing it wasn't a lumpectomy, because that would have been real shocking.
No joke. Not
Surgery?
quite the
Yeah.
quick outpatient procedure. So yeah, we just didn't know. And, got the biopsy done. It wasn't too bad. They're just the kindest people. I think
good.
people who have to sit with someone in those moments and continue to show up with empathy and compassion, like,
Without saying anything.
no, for real.
Like,
Yeah, just like you're with someone in like some of the scariest moments of their life. So, yeah, that happened. It was like late on a Thursday, so we had to wait till Monday morning. Felt like an eternity, and I had to go to work because we had someone new starting, and so my job is to onboard people. So I was like, okay, I have no option. Got to go to work and distract myself.
yeah.
And then noon hit and my responsibilities were kind of done. And I was like, I cannot function. Like the amount of anxiety, like I need to get out of here. Mm-hmm. And I get to my car in the parking lot and I got a call and I was like, this is the call. And so I like let myself sit down and, very nicely, quickly, this woman named Lisa is like, you have breast cancer. And, yeah, I mean, it was weird because I'd spent the weekend preparing that might be the case and also trying to convince myself that's not the case.
Yeah.
I had, a cousin and a friend who were like, I had a biopsy too and it was benign. And, so I just was like, no, I'm too young. I'm healthy. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so there was this like 15-minute period from when I found out to when I drove home. On the phone, she'd explained like, this is what we know about it. We know it's estrogen, progesterone positive. We know it's probably stage 2, whatever. And so I just drove home with that information and was pretty rattled.
Yeah.
And I also was like trying to cherish every second of it because I was like, as soon as I get home, I have to tell my husband. And then I'm not the kind of person who's going to hide that from like my friends and family. Like, I need people to just know because I'm not like, I can't mask emotion. And so it was going to be a lot of that. And so, yeah, I told him, we called and like looking back, I'm like, geez, you don't know how to break that news to people, but started just making all the worst phone calls of my life. Like, my friend was like mowing her lawn and I was like, could you turn the mower off? Like, can you sit down?
I need to tell you something.
Like, and I didn't tell anybody that I was getting a biopsy. Like, it all happened within 4 days of each other. So
yeah.
it's just like, what?
Yeah.
So that happened. And then I think like it was going to be a week before I could do the big medical meeting with all of the different doctors. And so I had already had plans to go to New York City with my best friend. We were going to do Christmas in New York, all the things. We went and like I had a really good opportunity to process some of the feelings. Like she was one of the people who had gone through a lot herself in the last couple years and was able to like just look me in the eye and like not be scared of the pain I was feeling and like ask the questions, whether, it was processing things like, do you think you're going to make it? And like me having to say that stuff out loud and being like, I don't know, like helped me be like, no, I know I am. And like, you might have those thoughts in your head, but when someone asks you and you have to say it out loud, you start to be like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, even if that's the little anxiety in my head. So that was a really, really helpful time to go and like start working through some of that stuff. And right away, Brennan's mom had sent the Crispy Cancer Square One protocol. She already had it.
Okay.
And so I get home and he has like gone to town, like detoxing our house. Side note, I had owned a candle business for a couple of years.
Okay.
And we had soy wax and fragrance oil everywhere, which is super not helpful.
Explain to listeners why that's not helpful.
Yeah. So, okay. The reason I was like starting my little journey of like health and wellness around the time I started the candle company. And I thought, I'm going to make candles because I want to make them soy based and I want to use phthalate free fragrance oil. And so I did. And that was a great thought. But again, it's greenwashing, and like there's a reason I get real revved up and angry, because I'm like, I thought I was doing this good thing, and I was bathing in xenoestrogens.
Yeah.
And I have all sorts of genetic mutations that make it hard for me to already get rid of estrogen. Yeah. And then I go off birth control and I start a candle business, and I'm just like knee deep in fragrance oil.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course I started having all these weird side effects.
Yeah.
Even though I was working hard on my health, you know?
Yeah.
So he's scraping all the wax off the floor and doing all of that. I get home, we start juicing hard, doing the crispy cancer. I'm like, I just need to do something. So I, rebounding and detox baths, and there were some really good books we talked about already. Radical Remission. Sweet people were, supporting us, buying us Whole Foods gift cards, and it's the end of the year, so there's not as much stuff to do at work. I really don't remember that time period. I just know I was doing all kinds of things, about 5 hours a day of health stuff.
Yeah.
And I meet with the oncologist, the medical oncologist, surgical oncologist, radiation oncologist, and they do their spiel. And she basically has her little rubric that she puts people through. And they're like, yep, it's actually, I remember getting a call that it was stage 3. Okay. And I think I was like pretty okay when I thought it was stage 2. In the moment, when it became stage 3, and they're like, you do have lymph node involvement, and it's a 6.5 centimeter tumor. So that means like it's, stage, it just all this, like I was wrecked. Yeah. And I think like I've come to learn not to value all of those things as much, but it takes a lot of like mental work to get through that stuff, because you want to be as low as possible. It's like a golf score.
Do you feel like the doctors were treating you like a little different from when they told you stage 2 to stage 3, or do you feel like it was still relatively similar treatment?
I never had met with anybody until they had all of that info.
Oh, okay.
And like I think they just so I'm kind of like skipping things. In that week before I met, so I got diagnosed on the 4th. The 5th, 6th, 7th, I had like an MRI, CT scan, and a bone scan. And so it was just like radiation city. Yeah. And they wanted me to get a PET scan as well. And I was like, wow, I need a breather. And so then I went to New York, and then I came back, met with the oncologist. I literally got back at like midnight, had a 8 a.m. appointment. Okay. And I was just wrecked that day. Like people, she was saying like, you need intensive chemotherapy up front. I think it was like 16 rounds, and then surgery, and then I don't remember how, like I blacked out. And Brennan's very like alternative, and was ready to just like juice our way out of this and like do crispy cancer like hard. And he was just like, I think he put like a hole through the wall with his glare, because he was just not loving what they were saying. And he's like, you're not going to speak those words over my wife or me, and blah blah blah. Not our best day for sure. And so I went home and I was like, I feel very stuck between two worlds. I feel like one is saying you like chemo will kill you. And I know a lot of people who've healed who've done chemo, so I'm really confused. And then another world is saying like, if you do anything besides what we tell you to do, it's not going to work, and you can't even look at a glass of green tea because it's going to mess with our chemo. And I was just like, wow. And I'm like a very I'm a Libra. Harmony is my top strength. Like I like to have balance. And I was like, this is so polarized. So that was my worst nightmare as a people pleaser. I was like, I just want everybody to be happy. I want my family to know I'm like going to be safe. And we've talked about, every week in that time period feels like an eternity. And so I was like looking at the same time for other options. And I had found the same doctor that you found and the same clinic. And that was kind of like a little beacon of hope, but I internalized that like, it wasn't for someone like me. I was like, that is for people who like have the financial resources or who live in California. You can't fancy California people, you know?
Super fancy over here. Mm-hmm.
I was just like, this is not for this Nebraska girl.
Yeah.
Even though it was the thing that made me feel safe. And I finally like sat with my family and they like asked some questions that, and I think again, the theme is like me verbalizing some of those things made me say, oh, maybe that's not true.
Yeah.
You know? And my sister's like, Brittany, we will help you through this. Like, we'll get you to the other side. Like, you just have to believe in like what you choose. And
That must have been nice to have that support.
yeah, it was super nice just to feel like, I think my family made me trust myself because I expected everyone to be like, you need to do what the doctors tell you. You know, like, you're just silly and you're just, you know, like, you just don't get it. Just do what they say. And to have both sides of my family, my side, my husband's side, being like, we trust you, meant a lot. So that was mid to late December. And I was like, okay, but there's a pretty significant down payment to go. And that was just another, again, I was like, I can't do that. How can we do that?
Yeah.
And so I took a little while to think about that. And then I, you know, was like, you know what? Nope. We're going to go to California for a couple weeks. We're going to do this thing. And I thought maybe that was like going to be the thing. And I kept going in waves. I was like, I'm going to do all holistic for the next month and spiritual. And I'm like, I'm praying for miraculous healing. I'm doing deliverance. I'm doing all of the modalities. And if by then I don't feel this lump like shrinking, then we're going to do more of the like integrative, and we're like getting into the HBOT, and we're like hyperbaric and all the things. I am going to California. I felt very safe there. I felt like I walked in and it was like, I'm home. Like, I've got people who are kind of on the same path I am and are ready to support me in figuring out how to do this in a way that's going to not really harm my body.
Did you feel like, to me, I always felt the difference between like my standard of care treatment center and the center that we went to was like, I felt like when I went there, people were healing. And when I went to my standard of care, it felt like people were trying to survive. It was like a real shift in the energy.
Yeah.
It really felt like a sanctuary healing place.
It did. I had only been to any kind of cancer center the day I met with all the oncologists.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, like, I didn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And so I never went back.
Yeah.
But between the, you know, the biopsy and all of those, I was like, I felt so pitied, even though people were trying to be nice. Just this like, oh, you're so young. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And going to a more integrative clinic, like, people are more like, you're going to be good. Like, you are going to be okay.
You're young. You're going to survive.
Yeah.
Like, you've got it. You're young. Yeah.
And I think that energy helped shift my energy. And like you said, you know, when you met me, it seemed like I'd been there for, I think, like a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks. And I felt like I had it on lock. You know, like, they have you going hard for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this. I'm going home. And
Yeah, no, that energy was like strong.
Yeah.
I could feel that.
And I think like that is so special to be able to go to, like, get away, get a plan, not be focused on anything but that.
Yeah.
And be around other people who are doing the same thing. And I do think I kind of came home a different person. Just like, you know, and I wanted to come home and do it more naturally. But I think the feedback I got there was like, you've got enough extent of disease that, and some of your terrain is just not in great shape.
Yeah.
That we need to probably do more. And so low dose chemo was recommended, and that was so hard because I was already stressed about the money. And then I'm like, how are we going to do this? So take 6 weeks to just kind of pray about it, figure all of that out.
How much chemo did they recommend in the beginning for you?
8 to 12
8
rounds.
to 12. Okay.
Yeah. And so, and they recommended hormone therapy as well. And for me, I don't know if they said this for you, but doing Zoladex like right at the start to protect my ovaries. I had to have I had in my initial diagnosis, I had a conversation with a fertility clinic talking about freezing my eggs like 23 hours after I was told I had breast cancer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And then, I had a second conversation with them just asking about that. It still didn't feel, it's such an individual decision. Brennan and I prayed about it and we said, God is going to build our family how he's going to build it. Like, it's clear that us trying to control the outcome is not like, that is not what we need to be doing. And, I was starting to get to where I'm like, I need to give up that dream for right now. Like, it will be there in the future and I'm going to put it right here. And, I have to focus on me. And so we didn't really do any of that. That was a really dark time because I was like trying to figure out how to do things. And I was told I needed a brain MRI because I hadn't done anything. And, it was the most, it was a scary place.
Yeah.
I had to process a lot, and insurance ended up not approving that, so I never got one. But in general, that conversation was tough.
Yeah.
Other hard conversations around fertility and just like, is that ever a good idea? And people weighing in. We'll talk about that more in the future. But
so at this point, you're grieving, like, the plan that you had for that moment was to have a child. You had to put that to the side. Then you find out you have, like, because you have breast cancer, now you have to come to California to do treatment, and you have to put aside future children. Like, you're just grieving a lot of things.
It's like layers and layers and layers of
But do
grief.
you feel like when you went home from those 2 weeks and you came back, did you feel like that grieving process had you had like gotten through that grieving process? Like, where were you in that regard? Like, in terms of like the 4 stages of grief, where were you when you came back?
I was further along. But I, like, as the year progressed, like, I might have still been in the beginning stages when I came back in March. No.
Anger.
I think I was in survival mode, and I went into, I just need a plan and I'm just going to go.
Okay.
Because then June came around and the anger came out.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I paused in June. So we'll get there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there was just a lot of processing of like some of the, like, I had to release a lot of the dark thoughts and emotions and like being that realist and wanting to prepare. Like, I told myself, I never want to let the rug get pulled out from under me. Like that happened at, at that appointment in the biopsy and all of that. Like, I am going to prepare for the worst, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not great either.
Yeah.
So we did the GoFundMe, and that kind of gave me the confidence to be like, okay, I have enough to do like 5-6 rounds, and then we can come up with the rest. I'm going to do 8. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that wasn't necessarily the case. So March comes around. You and I had been texting a little bit. I go out to California for a week, get my port put in, do my first round. On that day, I met somebody, and she's like, yeah, this is my 32nd round. I was like, whoa. And I
32.
thought, well, the money we have can get us through until insurance reimburses me, because I was under the impression that I would get an insurance reimbursement.
Yeah.
So again, just like really not trusting for provision, just thinking like very scarcity mindset. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, she didn't get reimbursed for any of this, and she's done 32 rounds. Holy crap, what did I just get myself into?
Yeah. Do we say how much chemo is, or is that tacky?
No, I think I can't even remember. I blacked out. Was it 3,500?
The first 12 were $37.50. And then
Each.
Not including any of the other IVs that we had to do and hyperbaric. And then it got down to, then we had a new doctor who negotiated down to $2,700 per round.
Yeah.
That was a
significant shift. Yeah. So I think I went into go mode from March through June. I was just a machine. I Monday, Tuesday, worked in the office. Wednesday morning, I took meetings in the office, went to the airport, flew out, was fasting because we fast before chemo, and then did chemo Thursday, did my IVs Friday, flew home, had the weekend to decompress with my cats and my husband, and then did it all over again for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm a machine and I am going to get the results. Yeah. And then my scan came around and it was confusing because, like, I feel like I had kind of said in yours, there's this thought that it's very black and white and very clear, and you're going to get very clear answers. It's working, it's not. And I couldn't tell. It seemed like nothing had really changed. So looking back, I know, there's time lapses. I had my first scans in December, then I didn't start chemo till March. I think things got a little worse. And then I did chemo and it got a little better. So I thought it was working pretty well. And then I got that disappointing news in June of like, it's not working very well.
What happened in June when you got your scan?
So it was the hospital that I got it at. I think the machine wasn't the best, and it was a PET CT. Anyways, they said that there was no ability to clearly tell me how big the tumor was. So I had no idea.
Okay.
I thought that was bizarre. The SUV had gone down just slightly. So there was a little bit of good news there, but not good news in my oncologist's eyes. He was like, this treatment is not working.
Okay.
And that whole 3 months, I intuitively, looking back, again, we start to recognize what intuition is. I couldn't tell if it was intuition or anxiety. Felt like I should be doing Zoladex, the medically induced menopause.
But you were doing tamoxifen, right?
No.
So when
Zero hormone therapy.
You hadn't even started tamoxifen?
No.
Okay.
I was doing DIM and Myomin.
Which are?
Both natural substances that kind of can act in a similar way to tamoxifen if you're not doing it.
Right.
So I was taking a bunch of that and felt like I needed to be doing more. My oncologist in March had said, hormone therapy is probably going to be more effective for you than chemotherapy. And I thought that was very curious because he's an oncologist.
Yeah.
I thought everyone just did chemo and that was what an oncologist told you to do. So that kind of stuck with me. June comes around. I didn't really get the results I wanted, and I knew I had to make some decisions. And I was like, do I just go back to standard of care? Do I even have the money to do more, go back to California? And I decided my first thing I needed to do was start Zoladex. So I did that, and no tamoxifen, and took 6 weeks to just kind of figure things out, reevaluate, and decided to go back for another 12. So
rounds of chemo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was just kind of, with the travel, it was kind of daunting to be like, oof, I'm going to do this all over again.
Yeah.
So July, August, September, back to California I went. And I think that's where you and I started to really get closer. I stayed for a week at a time a couple times and would spend more time with you. And I think that the shift in energy was just exponential. There was a lot. I was like, I have to throw more at this than I was. And so I started a few repurposed drugs that I wasn't doing prior. We did that DATAR test around that time. And so they changed the chemo drugs. They did the repurposed drugs that were showing really high on my DATAR test. Started doing a little bit of frequency healing and stuff like that. Just I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall. Chemo, I think I was still in the beginning and the impression chemo is going to be the thing. I'm just going to do the less harmful version. Yeah. So we were kind of opposite on that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say in the 6 week break I did in the summer, my tumor size got really out of hand. It was, Brennan says it was the size of a fist. It was
it kept growing.
It was huge. And I was too scared to get any kind of scans to figure out what was that.
That's interesting because you never wanted the rug to be pulled out from under you, you said, again. Yeah. And it's interesting that you didn't want to get a scan to show you what was going on.
Well, yeah, I think for starters, I didn't qualify for one because I just had one in June.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, and I didn't really know until it started shrinking how big it had gotten, because I mean, I was just like, whoa, it went from like probably this big to like in a matter of, I mean, I really think the Zoladex and cutting off the hormone pathway, which is like, again, going back to pathology report, I was 100% estrogen positive and 90% progesterone. So like that really like kind of cooled down the fire.
Yeah.
And then adding, all the other things that I was doing. So it very quickly started changing. And I like that just jazzed me up so much and really got me through just that like second marathon. I wasn't really ready to run.
Yeah.
So September comes around, I'm supposed to have a scan and I'm feeling really good about it. And like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And it was, for one reason or another, I think my oncologist had suggested just a CT, not a PET CT.
Okay.
Because there was just no need for a PET in his mind.
Okay.
So I got a CT done. He's like, you just don't need that extra radiation. I'm like, word.
Yeah.
So I got a CT and it said no detectable breast mass. And I had the strangest reaction. I was angry.
Why?
I was like, why am I mad? Why am I mad? And I think I was so, it wasn't clear. It wasn't like no evidence of disease, because there was a little bit in the lymph nodes. And I talked to my oncologist and he was kind of like, well, it could be dead tissue, but, it's time to get surgery. Like, that's what you just need to do. Like, it seems like whatever you did worked. And I was really, like, I didn't have a clear cut, you did it.
No evidence of disease.
And I was like, I am going to get the rug pulled out from under me. Like, I'm going to be disappointed because, like, he said a CT isn't a great breast imaging tool. So we just won't know until you get other imaging, which is what you'll get at a surgical consult.
Okay.
I was like, why would you give me a CT if it's not a great breast imaging tool?
Right.
Whatever. So I was operating on this, like, I think I can be excited, because at the same time, I got 0 circulating tumor cells on my Signatera. So I was like, that's another huge win.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I was like, is this exciting? Is it not? I'm like, can somebody please tell me if I should be celebrating? And
you couldn't feel it.
No, I could.
You could still feel the mass?
Yes. That's what
So
confused
maybe
me.
that's why you were confused.
Yes.
Okay.
That was, I think, one of the biggest things. Thank you for jogging my memory. I was like, I still feel it. It's still there. What are they saying?
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, it could be dead tissue. It could still be there. And the CT just didn't pick up on it.
Well, that's not helpful to know that a CT is not picking up on your tumors.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what are we doing? But at that time, I really didn't plan to be done with chemo, but for a couple of reasons, I felt like God had kind of just been like, my oncologist had said, I don't see a reason why you should continue with this. Like, you've done what you need to do. You need to get surgery.
Yeah.
And also just like cost wise, going out to California, work was supportive the entire time. I have to say that. Like, I have the best workplace in the entire world. Like, the ability that I had to continue working and also have the flexibility to go and do that for 6 months. And people picking up my slack and all of that, it was really special. So with that being said, I was just like, I need to probably get into the next phase of life. So October comes around, we go to a surgery consult, and I still, I think in episode 1, I'd said, like, cloud by day, fire by night. I was focused on the low dose chemo journey, and I had no clue what was next.
Yeah.
None. And I thought, well, CT is showing I don't have a detectable breast mass. Do I have reason to hope that I could just get a lumpectomy and be done? Yeah. Like, is it going to be that easy? And again, feeling a mass still there. We go to a surgeon, get everything done. It's a mammogram, ultrasound, and then you sit in a little cold room and wait for her to come in. She came in. Fantastic surgeon. Just didn't give me the news that I wanted.
Yeah.
She basically she's the person who explained all of my pathology and basically was like, I never would have done chemo like at the beginning for you. Like, I know that you're like looking at your pathology, you're not going to respond well to it. You should do it after surgery but she's like, with the type of, like, I have extensive DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. And so it's in a milk duct. It hasn't broke out. Mine did eventually break out, which is what became the invasive cancer. But the DCIS, according to modern American medicine, has to be surgically removed. There's no systemic therapy, chemo, hormone therapy, anything like that, immunotherapy, that will reach inside the milk duct to kill those bad cells.
Are they cancer cells? Like, is it cancer in your ducts, or like how do they like, what do they say it is?
It depends on who you talk to.
Okay.
And this is, again, I mean, I have tried hard to understand this because I'm still going through this. Like, for people who are watching, like, this is like, it is now July and this was back in October, and
July of 2025,
yeah.
October of 2024.
And so when I've talked to her a couple times, she said it is more preventative. It is not considered cancer. They are abnormal cells that 50% chance could become cancer.
Okay.
And I think, again, I mean, someone might be listening, like, you're wrong. But like, I think because mine had already become cancer, the likelihood when I stop hormone blockers that it would turn into cancer again is high.
Okay.
So again, modern medicine says there is no way to heal DCIS without surgical removal. I have 6.5 centimeters of DCIS, but in the meeting, I thought she was telling me I have a 6.5 centimeter tumor because I feel a tumor. CT was very unclear. I'm like, holy hell, I went through all of this and I still have a 6.5 centimeter tumor. Like, I was very angry.
Yeah.
Like,
so what did that mean exactly when she said you have 6.5 centimeters? Did she mean
she said
in
6.5 centimeters of abnormality, which we took as like a tumor, but it's like, that is the DCIS.
But like spread throughout. So
yeah, it's just a widespread area of DCIS. And for me and my body type, a 6.5 centimeters, like, that does not qualify for a lumpectomy.
Okay.
So mastectomy was the only option. That just really shocked us.
Yeah.
And went against the way that we thought we were going to do everything.
Okay.
It's hard because, like, I still have so many mixed emotions about the idea of something like that. But at the end of the day, in October, when I got this news, it was like, this is going to be a lifelong reminder that I can never change. And like, that makes me feel trapped. Like, if you get on a bus that you can never get off of, whew. Yeah. And that was really hard. So we took some time. I started tamoxifen at that time. So now Zolidix, tamoxifen, I knew hormone blockers were really effective.
October 2024. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you'll see me on podcasts whipping my fan out because I'm the lucky one who has immense hot flashes. So, it's not a fun season of life, but I am like, life is all about how you look at it. And I am grateful that I have the ability to do something temporarily because, before it was like, hysterectomy. It was like, remove your ovaries. That's how, that was the recommendation. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's like, wow, okay. This is way less permanent.
Yeah.
So that was October. I was like, I'm going to give it like 3 months on the hormone therapy and just like continue with the other stuff like IV vitamin C and hyperbaric and all of these things and just like be at home kind of like you and like more gently heal. And, again, just like really confused in this, am I cancer free land?
Yeah.
December comes around and it had been the 3 months. And so I was like, I want a PET scan because I need clarity about what I am feeling in my breast.
Yeah.
My oncologist is like, you don't need a PET scan, but okay.
Well, I should take his job because I remember telling you and I was
Yes.
extremely adamant that you needed a PET scan
You were the one.
before you make any decisions, because I thought it was, you know, I wasn't saying don't do surgery or anything, but I was just saying you should have all your information before you make your decision. And so that's when you were like, yeah,
No,
I'm going to get a PET scan.
You were right. Yeah. Because I came and stayed with you in November. Was it November? It was before your PET scan.
It was like probably, yeah.
Late October, early November.
Yeah.
It was November, early November. And we were talking about it, and I was like, you know what? You're right. I do. I need the information, because if I'm going to have a massive surgery, I just need to know everything.
Yeah.
Because I remember your words were, what if they take it out and it is completely dead tissue? I was like, that'd be good to know.
Yeah.
So got the PET scan. I remember posting on my Instagram saying, my bold prayer is that it is 3 centimeters or less. And it was gone.
Incredible.
I had little catchphrases that like started in 2023 for the year of 2020, like my word for the year before I even knew about cancer, because I thought I was believing, it was believe, what I was believing for a great year and a baby and all of the things, and then believe stayed my word for different reasons. And I was just like believing for like healing in 2024. And on New Year's Eve at 4:30 p.m., I got a call from my oncologist saying, like, I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't a fully clear scan, because apparently there's like a lymph node with an SUV of 1.3,
Which is so
low. Depending on which radiologist looks at it.
Yeah.
Could be inflammation, it could be anything. But outside of that, it was a clean scan, and I was with my parents and like my family in Kansas City, and just to be able to like celebrate in that moment, felt vulnerable to like be celebratory, because I still am like, I don't know if I'm out of the woods. I don't like, I still was like, even though that was what I was hoping for and like beyond what I was praying for, I still had like bated breath, which is wild. But
were you just worried that like if you were to just let go and say I'm cancer free, you'd have another appointment coming up with a doctor that would tell you, well, actually, wait. Yeah.
Yes. I didn't ever want to go back and be like, yeah, that time we celebrated, I was wrong. And you know, I'm very cautious and protect myself from disappointment. And
how was your family reacting to it? Were they like,
my mom like collapsed. Oh. Yeah. I have a video, and she was getting ready. We were going to like our favorite restaurant in Kansas City, and I was like, I pulled Brennan in first and told him, and like we celebrated, and that was exciting. And then I was like, hey, Daddy, come here. And I went and knocked my mom, and I put my phone down to record a video, but like she didn't have pants on. I walked in on her, and like she had a long shirt on.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can never do anything with this video.
Mom, you need to wear pants from now
Can
on.
you put your pants on? I'm about to tell you some good news.
Always wear pants, Mom. Yeah.
Anyways, she like collapsed, and like they both started hyperventilating, because like you could just tell like the weight of the world like somewhat came off of their shoulders, just to have, like you said, you want to give your family that good news, like you want to take that stress away.
Yeah, it's not just about you and you wanting to be cancer free, because you want to be cancer free, but it's like, you know how much this cancer affects everyone in your life, and whether they're saying it or not, you know it's hard, and it's like you just want to give them the good news, and that you were able to do that is so special. And like
it was,
I'm sad that you couldn't enjoy it yourself, but like looking back, can you like, do you feel joy now? Are you able to feel joy now?
No.
Still
No, because I think and part of my journey has and will continue to be trusting myself and my voice, and not letting the outside world dictate that. And like, no one in authority has said that I am cancer free. Like, no one has like given me those words. And I just want, like, I had this dream of like having a cancer free party at this really cool pizza restaurant that I have never been to, but I keep looking at pictures, and pizza's my favorite food.
Of course.
And I said, I'm not going to eat pizza until I am cancer free. And my whole friends and family, we're going to this restaurant and we're going to have a big celebration.
Okay.
And again, it's one of those, like, it's just not so black and white. And like, I probably could have had that party, but like, I still have surgery decisions ahead of me.
Okay.
So that was December. February rolls around. It's the 3-month mark of the surgery consults.
February 2025.
Yep. And my oncologist said to meet with a surgeon in Omaha that he knew. And so I did, and nothing had changed.
Okay.
Which was a bummer.
Of the DCIS.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, I'm getting 0 circulating tumor cells on Signatera, which is a great sign.
Yeah.
The mammogram, like, all of those things are good. And I was like, okay, is that my time now to say, I'm going to get a mastectomy? Like, what, my oncologist basically just said, when you go off of hormone therapy and like your goals of getting pregnant, like, the chances are very high that it would come back. And everyone will do different things with that information. I think a lot of people in the holistic community would say, you don't know me and my future, and like, be bold and march forward.
Yeah.
And I am like, so again, I consider all the sides and all the perspectives, and I need time to think things through.
Yeah.
Thankfully, hormone therapy has bought me that time, and I just keep pushing the goalposts a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have to feel peace about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, what is it? It's July. So I'd said July, like in February, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a Rife machine because you've had great results, and frequency. If no systemic therapy can penetrate a milk duct, frequency can, because frequency can penetrate anything. So I bought a Rife machine. I've been rifing it up, and eventually I will have another surgery consult. But this year has really taught me again with like, I'm going to be grateful for the season I'm in my life right now. We're doing things like this podcast. I'm not pushing off the joy and celebration as much. I still can't meet someone and say, I had cancer. I am cancer free. I'm not, like,
so funny.
It's weird because I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I think knowing that I might have some hard stuff ahead of me if I do a surgery, I feel like I want to save that like moment of joy for when I feel like I've quote unquote earned it, like.
Oh, so. You earned it.
Yeah.
You have earned it. I tell people I had cancer, and that's not accurate. But you tell people you have cancer. That's not necessarily accurate. We're very opposite in that.
Hey,
if I say it, it's got to be true.
And then I had like a great scan, and people are like, is this bad news? I'm like, no, I just don't know.
You're like, I just don't want to celebrate it.
Yeah.
So what makes you, now that you've shared your story, like why did you want to do this podcast with me? Like, what was like your reasoning for wanting to share your story? What was like the one thing that made you like, okay, it's time for me to tell others?
I think like we both made a lot of friends along this journey. Something that stuck out about my friendship with you is just like that we both felt that there's like purpose to help others in this. Like we both, I think, felt very strongly right away, like there's a reason for this, and we're looking for that. And I love that we get to kind of like explore that together. And so I think that for me, like, I think we've said it before, this quote, there's healing in the telling. Like, not only are we creating a community where other people feel seen and can hear our stories, and we can maybe share things that worked for us, but it's also really healing for us.
Totally.
So it's also an excuse to see you.
To just sit here and talk.
That's really the only reason I'm doing this.
Yeah, just to be able to set aside 1 hour a week to talk to each other. Yeah.
But no, I think it feels like a really natural progression, even though neither of us are on the other side and like cancer free, like we're done.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people wait till that season, by all measurements, we are both like
Doing well.
doing great and headed in that direction, and it's complex.
If cancer taught us anything, it's like you have to live your life, live in the present.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Enjoy every moment you have on this earth, you know?
Yeah. So that's why I'm here. And yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you shared your story. Thanks. I learned more. Is there anything else you want to share before we say goodbye?
I don't think so. I think
we have multiple more episodes
we do. Oh,
we
so many more. I think like the first thing that pops in my head is like, and this is a downer way to end an episode, but just like I felt like I was immune to something such as this happening. Like, no way. And like, if we can, by anything, sharing our stories, help people see that like this stuff happens to people who look young and healthy, and it can help someone be like, that thing that feels weird, I should probably get checked. That's another reason I would love to just share.
Listen to your body and put your health first, for sure.
So that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. We have a big favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and leave a review. It really helps people find us.
Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Bye.